Good morning, friends. My name's Tanya, and this is She's At It Again. And this recipe, by far, is probably the most exciting thing that I've shared with you in a while. If you have kids, this is going to be really good. If you have an affinity or a passion for chocolate, this is going to be really good. If you have a nut allergy, please do not even go here. Now, if you want to sub the peanut butter that I use for a sunflower nut butter, then you're welcome to experiment with that. I have not experimented with it yet, but it may be just as good. I don't know. But I'm here to tell you, this is a dairy-free, gluten-free, grain-free, sugar-free. I can't even tell you all the good things it has, the good qualities it has. But this tastes like a fudgesicle from my childhood. But this is not a dairy product. I'm telling you, it's so good. Do the terms peanut butter and chocolate combined get your attention? Because if it does, you're going to want to see this. These are freezer pops. I call them frozen skinny monkeys, and I think you're going to be interested. So stay tuned. Okay, I don't even have anything scooped out yet. I have my Vitamix right here. This is a very, very high-speed blender, but if you do not have a regular, or if you don't have a high-speed blender like this, regular blender, immersion blender, or a bowl with a spoon in it, I'm just telling you, just about anything works. All you need to do is get this blended up to where it's super smooth. So right here I have, now this is what I'm talking about when I say overripe banana, this or darker. Do not use a banana that has green on it and then comment in the section and say, this didn't taste anything like you said it would. No, it's not going to unless you use the kind of bananas that I'm telling you to. Make sure these are super sweet. That's what we're going for. They don't necessarily have to be mushy, but if they are, that's fine. It's just the sugars have built up in them, and that's what makes them really good. So ideally, you're going to have ones that just have brown spots on them. Take them and break them up in little chunks like this. What you're going to need is either 4 large bananas or 5, I can just call this medium-sized bananas. You're going to peel them. Now you can also make this to where it automatically looks like chocolate soft serve ice cream as soon as the mixing takes place if you have a Vitamix like this and if your banana chunks are frozen. Otherwise, we're just going to make it, it's going to be kind of in a liquid state. We're going to pour it in our container and then freeze it in the freezer. And if my dogs were inside instead of laying out there in the sunroom looking at me through the window, they would be standing right on my feet because they love bananas, especially ones that are this ripe. These smell really, really good. Okay. I'm going to blend these up just a bit before I add my other ingredients to it. I have my plug mold back there, so I have several plug-in options. Okay, I'm just going to get this stirred up a bit. I may have to press it down a few times. Better yet, I will get my pusher that goes with it. Out of the pantry. This comes with this attachment, and that's what that's for. I always hate to use it because I think, oh, it's just one more thing to wash, but in this case, you just gotta do it and move on. This pusher doesn't touch the blades at all, so it's kind of fun. It fits exactly into the corners of the mixer. It's kind of cool. Okay, so as you can see, that's pretty much in a liquid state right there. All right, next thing we're going to add, I'm going to set this over to the side. We need 1/4 cup of peanut butter. Now this, let's make sure I'm getting a good picture of it. This is the peanut butter I'm using. It's organic. It's Valencia peanuts, which is something I love to find in the store. This is from Trader Joe's. This has no salt to it. So my ingredients here are just organic Valencia peanuts. That's it. No salt, no nothing. If you use some with salt, you can reduce or just avoid using salt in this because I'll put salt in it later. But we're going to need 1/4 cup of peanut butter. And some things I'm not so careful about measuring precisely, but this I am because it's just so good. I don't want to mess up the balance of the flavors. I don't want the peanut butter to be overwhelming. I don't want the salt to be overwhelming. I don't want anything in it to be kind of wonky and off because I want it to taste like it always has, because this is exceptionally good. And today, it's not so hot outside. It's actually a pretty pleasant day starting out so far. But last week it was up into, the heat index was like at 108, I think, on Saturday. So it's been a pretty warm past week. And who doesn't want to go in and get a fudgesicle out of the freezer when it's so hot outside? But if you have somebody that has a dairy allergy, an egg allergy, a gluten allergy, a grain allergy, anything like that, as long as they don't have a peanut or chocolate allergy, you're usually pretty good with this because this has very, very few ingredients in it. Man, I'm just barely having 1/4 cup of peanut butter in this jar. I wondered if I needed to get a different jar and open it, but it looks like I'm going to have just enough in here. I'm not necessarily a fan of chocolate peanut butter. I know I'm one of those weird ones. Everybody loves their chocolate peanut butter candy, but it's just not my favorite. But this, the peanut butter is not so overwhelming in it. I mean, you can taste it if you think about it when you're eating it, but normally people say, oh, what is that? When they've tried it. So I think it is just an incredibly good find. One of those jewels. Every once in a while I stumble upon something and I think, oh my goodness, why have I not ever known this before? But I wasn't looking for this before, so that's why I didn't know it. That is for sure. All right, let's get our peanut butter in here, and I'm just going to scrape it out of this as best I can. I want to get every little drop of it. If you have freezer pop molds, this works great. This makes about, I think it makes about 6 average size freezer pops, but this recipe is easily doubled. Easily, just use double every ingredient. That's kind of a no-brainer. But if you go through these as quick as we do, sometimes it's worth it. But I think the hardest part is just waiting on your bananas to get overripe, because you have a tendency to go, well, that kind of looks like it's overripe. It's got a spot on it. No, please don't do this with just a spot on your banana. Wait till they get good and overripe. Trust me, it is worth the wait. And make sure you have room in your freezer too before you get started. All right, we're also going to use 1/3 of a cup of cocoa. Now this obviously is unsweetened cocoa, and this is the kind that I'm using. I use this for a lot of stuff and just get it at our local big store. Whatever cocoa you have is fine. I say the darker the better, but some people are not big on dark cocoa. I'd say this is about a medium cocoa. It's not It's not too awfully dark. This is what I use to make my honey chocolate milk every morning. And notice I've kept the clear plastic sealed lid on there. I only pull it halfway off, and then I can use it as a leveling device when I'm taking the cocoa out. And I'm getting it on the counter. That's not a good thing. All right, I'm going to dump this in there. Again, that is 1/3 of a cup of cocoa. The next ingredient we're going to use is 1/4 of a teaspoon of vanilla. I make my own vanilla out of organic vodka and vanilla beans. So I know about how much is 1/4 of a teaspoon. I hope I said 1/4 of a teaspoon before. If not, that's it, 1/4 of a teaspoon. And we're going to need about 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt. Again, if you have salt in your peanut butter, you might use a little bit less, but the salt really does enhance the flavor of the chocolate, so trust me on that one. Just go with it. Put our lid back on here. And that's all the ingredients right there. That is it. Bananas, peanut butter, unsweetened cocoa, and this peanut butter has no sugar in it. Keep in mind, there's no sugar in anything. So bananas, peanut butter, cocoa, vanilla, and salt. 5 ingredients. 5 ingredients, people. And I'm not really having to use this pusher to push anything down. I'm just kind of stirring it around in there. More than anything, it just keeps the air bubble out of it. Okay. As long as this is mixed up okay, we're set. I'll scrape as much of it off with my spatula. And the hard part really to me is just getting it out of the blender base or the blender container, because I want to get every speck of it out of there. It smells so good. Oh my goodness. You could eat it just like this. It would be like the consistency of, it's the consistency of a pudding, I would say. But to put it in a container and freeze it is much better. So this is the container that I use. I save these foyer containers. This is, this says it's 3 servings in a container. That's really big servings, and they're each 3/4 of a cup. So we're going to pour this in this container. And it doesn't fill it up all the way to the top, but it's pretty close. So that's why I like these containers. Plus I can see what's in there through the clear lid that comes on it. When I put it in the freezer, there's nothing worse than, well, not many things worse in the freezer than not having things labeled and not being able to detect what it is. And you have to take it off and sniff it, and it's frozen. You can't smell what it is, so just annoying. All right, so I'm not going to waste your time by getting this out. I'll get more of that out in just a minute. But I want to show you the frozen finished product that I have here in the freezer. So this one is out of the freezer. And it looks like this. It's so good. Oh my goodness. Oh, that little bite right there. That was like really yummy. Chocolate candy. It's so good. Okay, guys, I encourage you, try this recipe. You're going to think, what in the world? And you're going to want to have this recipe on hand. Hopefully you're going to share it with your friends. Share the video with your friends. Just send it to them. But I'm glad I had a finished product to show you and then the process to go through to show it to you too. So I am super excited about sharing this with you, especially in the heat of the summer. This is so good. So go get you some freezer pop molds, pour them in Dixie cups, do whatever you have to, put it in a yogurt container like I do, and just go get a spoon and just dig in. But if you'll let it thaw just a little bit, it gets to that softened stage again. It's really so delightful. So with a peanut allergy, you can always try to use sunflower nut butter or something like that. Maybe even tahini would work. I'm not sure. You just need something with that texture, but I just don't know how the taste would be. I haven't tried it yet, but we don't have peanut allergies. But anyway, thanks for spending time with us today. I'm always excited to know that people are actually watching the videos all the way through and trying the recipes that I'm sharing with you and trying some of the ideas. So anyway, we look forward to sharing something again with you soon, and we hope you have a good day. Bye.